So I have a number of illnesses that I didn't even know that I had until like well into my 20s. So the first one, my biggest one, has always been schizotypal personality disorder. So that's a schizophrenia spectrum disorder. And in my case, I had symptoms as early as, maybe 5 years old. And I was humiliated and scapegoated.
All right, you're watching the Power Hour. I'm your host, DJ Larry Jones, and my next guest has reached over 1 million views on social media, expressing her frustration with life. And, it seemed as if she was ready to put an end to it all. Ladies and gentlemen, please welcome my guest. Why don't you introduce yourself for me?
So my social media name is Sad Sahara, but my actual first name is Zoe.
Now, Sad Sahara, where did that come from?
So it's kind of a weird story. I've had that social media handle for many years. I kind of came up with that name because a lot of my friends used to always tease me for being sad or having like a sad demeanor. And so I put that in my username thinking, okay, that suits me perfectly. But what goes with the word sad? Like what's like a pretty word that goes with the word sad? And I came up with Sahara, and it just clicked, and I kept it. So
wow.
That's it.
Now you posted a video. We're about to play the video right now for our viewers to take a look at. And when we look at it, I want you to come back and tell us what was going through your mind, first of all, when you posted it, okay? Let's get into the video.
Alrighty.
I'm not gonna last much longer. As God is my witness, I'm not going to fucking last. I am so fucking tired. I am tired of people. I am tired of the way they take advantage of me, disrespect me, take me for granted, use me. I'm sick of the healthcare system. I'm sick of these therapists who don't know what the fuck they're doing. I'm sick of these medications that are dangerous to our fucking health. I'm sick of this economy. I'm sick of climate change. I'm sick of all this shit. You know where I'm at in life right now? I have 3 options in my life. I can either work, I can be locked up in a fucking psych ward, or I can live on the street. Those are my options in life. Like, there is literally no reason for me to go on. Like, I literally can't take it anymore.
That was you. What was going through your mind? First of all, I totally understand, your argument there. I totally get your argument. What was going through your mind? What happened?
Well, my primary frustration in that video was being a mentally ill person who just doesn't have a lot of support and doesn't have access to a lot of the resources that would help me get better. And there also is this general sense of apathy in society and also ignorance about mental illness. People treat the mentally ill very poorly. They conflate mental illness with a moral failure or a character flaw. And we are just put in this category of being defective, if you will. And I was just frustrated because I felt like my self-esteem had been so damaged by the way that I'd been treated. I had no hope that I would ever get better because I would try to reach out to mental health professionals. And first of all, I couldn't afford medical treatment. We all know that the American healthcare system is corrupt. It's profit driven. A lot of people don't have access to therapists, medication, and what have you. And I just felt like kind of like this hamster on a hamster wheel that had the same problems over and over again. I could never find any sort of solutions or any sort of solace. And I was just absolutely fed up with it, with everything. I said to myself, I can't keep living like this, I couldn't focus on my work. I would be making mistakes at work, and I, couldn't get out of bed, and I couldn't like talk to people because I also have very poor social skills as well. And I just felt like there was just no point to anything, just the way that society has been set up by postmodern capitalism. Everyone only cares about things like money and status rather than, well-being and community and things like that really matter to human beings. And so I just had enough. And I actually wasn't going to post that video. I'm always a bit wary of posting things like that because I have a large audience and it can be discouraging to people to see things like that. But I decided to just post it anyway because I like to be honest and transparent. That's my whole thing. That's part of my niche. And a lot of people really resonated with it. And I think that was sort of a good thing because it made me feel less alone.
Yeah, yeah. Now what are you battling? Depression or?
So I have a number of illnesses that I didn't even know that I had until like well into my 20s. So the first one, my biggest one, has always been schizotypal personality disorder. So that's a schizophrenia spectrum disorder. And in my case, I had symptoms as early as, maybe 5 years old. And I was humiliated and scapegoated by my family for exhibiting traits of neurodivergence. And I also have just other features of that disorder, which include like psychosis, social anxiety, executive dysfunction, meaning poor memory, difficulty in like taking care of myself and things like that. So that's my primary one. I also have a very severe attachment disorder and social anxiety. So I've never really been able to form relationships with people or build a foundation of support for myself. And I also have OCD as well. And that can be debilitating because of the intrusive thoughts and things like that on a daily basis. So I generally every single day, I just have a feeling of just unease, discomfort that will not go away. And it can be hard to live like that. It really wears down on you after so many years. I'm almost 30 now. So I've been dealing with this for a number of years, and it's not easy at all.
And are you on medication? Any medication now?
No, I used to try to take medication. I was given like antidepressants, mood stabilizers, and things like that. And I always had a negative reaction. And a lot of the professionals who diagnosed me and gave me the medication, I don't think they really thought it through, because the way medication in the American healthcare system is sold, it's almost treated like a hot new product that you want to get out on the market. It's not necessarily geared towards the well-being of the people who are taking it. It is designed to put money in, the pockets of the doctors and the hospitals. So these people were just giving me whatever they had an agenda to give me. Do you know what I'm saying? Like,
I know exactly what you're saying.
like the pot medications that you just give out to people, these are the diagnoses that you give out, and that's what I was given. You know what I mean?
I know exactly what you mean.
So
It's sort of like almost experimental, right?
mm-hmm.
And and then you find yourself dealing with the side effects of the medication. So then you're taking medication for the medication.
Mm-hmm.
Right.
Mm-hmm.
What's a typical day like for you?
Well, it's my life is not very exciting right now. It used to be more exciting when I was a bit younger. I get up in the morning and I go to work at 9 o'clock, 5 days a week. My job is pretty boring. I work in housekeeping, so it's not very, challenging or stimulating. Like I said, I have social anxiety, so I don't really have any friends here or anything. I don't have a social life. So when I come home from work, I pretty much just like watch TV,
Mm-hmm.
And on my days off, maybe I'll run errands, go for a walk, but very, very low key. I'm very much a homebody.
Right.
So yeah, I don't really have a lot of fun.
Does your that's going to change pretty soon. I can feel it for you. You're going to be okay. Does your situation, your illness, does it get in the way of your daily activities, your daily routine?
Yes, I mean, when I was younger, I was a little bit more like fresh, I want to say, to where I wasn't as like jaded and worn down by mental illness. And I was a lot more outgoing. I always struggled with social anxiety, but I would still like go to parties and go to concerts, and I would travel. Even if I had to travel by myself, I was very excited to just get out there and travel, I used to be a singer. I love to write. And that's kind of how I had fun in my life. And nowadays I just don't do any of that really. So I would say managing my mental illness has diminished my capacity to even do the things that I enjoy doing that bring me fulfillment, because I just don't have the brain power really anymore. That's all
Right.
I can really say about that.
I want to say you're an amazing singer. I've heard you sing on your on
Oh, on
TikTok.
Instagram.
You're on
Oh, on
Instagram, yeah.
TikTok.
Yeah, on both of them. That's how I found you. And you're an amazing singer. I think you should really pursue that.
Oh, thank you so much.
Yeah,
Thank
pursue that. Talk to me about your family. Where are they now, and how active are they in your life?
Oh my God. I have a terrible family. I'm just gonna give it to you straight. Okay. My mother is an untreated mentally ill woman. She too also had traits of schizophrenia, which is where I got it from. And my stepfather, he's just a hillbilly, like deadbeat, trashy sort of guy. And both of them never cared about us. I mean, they treated myself and my brother and my sister like we were burdens. They didn't care about our emotional well-being, our physical safety, things like our hygiene and nutrition. They didn't care about any of that. So I pretty much had to raise myself. I mean, in a lot of ways I had to raise myself. I was parentified at a young age, and I left home when I was 17. I had some support from my grandmother, but then she died when I was 18.
Mm.
So I've pretty much been on my own since then. So that was about 11 years ago.
Right.
So yeah, they're not sure at all. My parents.
And your brother and sister, they aren't either?
No, not really. My brother, unfortunately, he turned out to be just like his father, my stepfather. And my sister, she's just not like me at all. Like, she's very much a neurotypical. My brother and my sister, they had a very different life than I did, because I moved around a lot because my parents were in the military. So I went to, I think it was like 7 different schools before the age of 12. But my brother and sister, they were able to settle down in elementary school. Like, once we stopped moving around, they were only in like the 2nd and 4th grade. So they got to stay in the same town, grow up with the same kids. They were neurotypical, so they were able to fit in with the other kids, play sports, have friends, stuff like that. So on a fundamental level, they do not understand me at all, because we just had very different experiences, and I don't think that they relate to me either. I had tried to maintain a relationship with my sister, but she just ignores me. So I just gave that up. Yeah.
Well, I know family can be pretty rough sometimes. Trust me, I know.
Yeah.
But I want you to know that I'm here for you. So whenever you need to talk, you can always call me. You have my number if you're feeling,
Yeah.
any type of way. But yeah, I want to thank you for joining me on the show, and I also want to encourage you to pursue your singing. You know what I mean? I think that can be very therapeutic for you.
Yeah. Yeah.
Do you do other things that that can be, that's perhaps therapeutic for you, just to help get your mind in a different place?
Yeah, I would say my only like coping skills that are not harmful are like watching old movies and TV shows that I loved when I was a kid, because it kind of takes you back to that time where you were more like innocent and naive. And then I also got pretty good at meditating. That's like my one coping skill that I can count on that pretty much works every time. Like, once you get good at it, like, it's a practice for sure.
Yeah.
But
Meditation. I'm big on meditation. It definitely works. Yeah, it works. I'm not advanced. I always say it's different stages to meditation. You can become really advanced at it, and you can really make some amazing things happen in your life. So yeah, I definitely encourage you to do that. I want to change that name from Sad Sahara to Happy Sahara, because you're gonna.
I've heard that before. I've heard that
really soon. I know you have, and I'll help you. I'll help you if you want. Okay.
Thank you very much. I appreciate your kindness.
Absolutely. Thank you so much for joining me on the show today. You're watching the Power Hour right here on Soul.
And don't forget, the Power Hour is sponsored by Kaya.
You're watching Soul TV.